is available. And I also posted in the chat if you want to go ahead and just get Menti set up on your end. I'll also repost it so you can answer questions while you are watching the presentation today. Does that sound good? All right, we'll go ahead and pass it over to Ryan.
Hey, folks. First, yeah, thanks for joining. I'm Ryan. I work in the product org at Quickbase. And anytime we can get with a big group of our customers to understand what's working, what's not working, what we need to improve, what you're missing, is super, super valuable. So thanks for taking the time. I promise like 4 slides, and the rest of the time I'd like to spend in the product and in sort of Q&A. I think, well, I think this is the first one of these crew meetings I've attended in quite a while. So I'd like to make this as much of a discussion as possible. So feel free to like pop off mute, interrupt me, ask questions in the middle. Like very happy to yeah, to make this a little bit more interactive than I think if I just talk at slides and at Quickbase the whole time, like I'm doing something wrong. So I will quickly set the stage on a couple of things. Hold on, let me remember how to use Zoom. Okay, cool. Is everyone see the screen? Oops, wrong slideshow, but it doesn't necessarily matter. Okay, so first I'd like to talk about quick insights. This is a feature that has been in the product for a little over a year now.
I don't
Oh,
see your screen anymore.
what? Hold on. Sorry, guys. You can tell like we use Microsoft Teams all the time. And so my Zoom skills are a little shaky. Is that better? Yeah. I think it
Yes.
happened when I went into presentation mode the last time. So
Okay.
see if I can do this. And is this like an appropriate Zoom level, Esther? Can you see what's inside? Yeah,
Uh, yeah, I could see it. I mean, it would be nice if it is in presentation mode, but you might have it. It might have. Yeah, that's much better.
it works. Oh,
Yes.
I don't know why that didn't work last time. Okay. So yeah, quick insights. The really quickly, we know that our users have an incredible amount of like really critical data inside of their Quickbase applications. Quickbase today is really good at showing you like at a point in time what your data looks like, what it's doing, right? And how it's trending. But what we had heard from users is it can be really challenging to understand why things happen, right? Like and because all of that data is there in Quickbase, we had a hypothesis that we could use some advanced data analysis techniques like machine learning to help you understand more about why things happen inside of Quickbase. Now, just to peel the curtain back a little bit, the really hard challenge to solve here was how can we give our builders who are, usually non-technical in nature, how can we give them the ability to create these custom machine learning models without needing to be a data scientist, right? So we had to we spent a lot of time researching, talking to customers, and trying to understand the best way to surface this in ways that you all could understand, right? You shouldn't have to know what feature generation means or what inference actually is. We just wanted to give you the predictions really simply. So with just a couple of clicks in your application, you can start leveraging really, really deep machine learning techniques on your data. I'll do a really quick demo, and it's really quick because I think this is super easy to use, just to show you how it works. Let me pop back into Quickbase now. Okay, cool. Esther, thumbs up. We see Quickbase. All right, we still see Quickbase. No more Zoom oddities. Okay, so this is a project management application, and allows me and my team to, see where things are, manage the appropriate tasks, risks, see who's assigned to what. And again, this dashboard, really great point in time snapshot of what my data is doing. So a lot of high budget projects, not really a whole lot of low budget projects. We have projects being, or we can see our allocation trends over time, but can't really see what's driving those allocation trends. And as a project manager, one of the things I'm probably chiefly concerned with is making sure that my projects are completed under budget, right? We want to be good stewards of the company P card and make sure we're not, racking up a bill. So we track that in Quickbase today, right? We have our budget for the project. We also have our actuals for the project. And we're tracking whether or not an individual project is delayed. But what I can do here now is, and you can access this through the three-dot menu on the column header, is leverage quick insights. This will tell me what factors contribute to projects becoming over budget. So we've pre-filled a lot of the details for you here. And the only thing I need to answer in this case is uh, what should our data analyzer and quick insights, what should they look at? So I want to look at what's causing my records to be checked in the over budget field. So I'm going to go ahead, generate the results. And what we're doing on the back end is running an algorithm against your data. And it's going to show you a few really important things. So it'll show you factors that it found that have a strong correlation with the outcome that you've defined. So in this case, when our manager is Tom Sanders, right? Our projects are actually 32% more likely to be over budget. And we can tell you that with a 94% confidence that, hey, this impact is actually occurring inside of your application. And we'll show you the correlation. So how big of an impact does something like this have on your app? Again, we wanted to help you understand correlations in your data beneath the surface level, right? So another one, hey, when Joe Cruz is our project manager, and here I'll zoom in because I can see Ben squinting. When Joe Cruz is our project manager, we're actually less likely to be over budget. And as somebody who's, in charge of managing all of the projects in Quickbase, I may want to go talk to Joe and see, hey, what are you doing in your process that's causing, your projects to come in under budget consistently? So that's the first thing that we wanted to show. Again, just really quick overview of how it works, the types of data that you can get from it. But I guess I'll pause here and see if there are any questions from folks on the call.
No questions so far.
Okay, cool. So again, this has been generally available to all of our customers for about a year now. And in talking to lots of the folks who have been using this feature, they felt there were areas where we could take this further, right? For example, our quick insights feature is really only looking at data in the projects table, but you have a multitude of other really interesting data points that you wanted us to analyze that might sit outside of it. We're also using a fairly simple algorithm behind the scenes to generate these values. We wanted to explore, well, what would it look like to use more powerful machine learning models? And finally, users said, hey, this is great, but I'm not really quite sure what to do with this. Like, I'd like to hold on to these insights and keep them somewhere in my application so that I can more programmatically take action on them. Yeah, Darren, question. Nice to see you.
Hey, Ryan. Sorry, I just want to. I've tried using this a number of times, and maybe it's just me, but I seem to always run into some kind of an issue where it says like we couldn't generate insights. There was an error analyzing the data. Is there any, I guess, sort of prerequisites to running this on certain fields or things that I just don't understand? And
Yeah,
is there anything that you can sort of just throw out there to say, yeah, maybe you need to try these things? Any
yeah.
insights there?
It's a good question. So there are a few limitations, and I'll talk about the limitations with Data Analyzer, which is what we'll tee up here in just a second.
Okay.
A few things that will ensure you get good predictions more reliably. One is the amount of data in the application, right, or in the report that
Okay.
you're analyzing. We need at least 20 records to analyze, and I think the upper limit on the amount of data we can using Quick Insights is, I think, around 100,000 records.
Okay.
So that could be one of the issues that you have run into. We
Okay.
also need, so if we go back to our setup wizard here, we also need really good examples of what an over budget project looks like and what an under budget project looks like. So I think the minimum is we need at least 8 unchecked projects and 8 checked projects in this example, so that we can compare them and see, well, what are the things, what things happen to these over budget projects that don't happen in the under budget projects, so we can go off and generate a meaningful sort of sample set for you. And then the third thing is there actually has to be correlations, right, in the data. So we won't, if we can't give you any factors with a high degree of confidence, we're not going to show you anything, right? At the end of the
Okay.
day, we feel like it's our job to make sure you're making good decisions on your data and using the capabilities that we offer. So if we couldn't generate anything above, I think it's like 70% confidence or maybe 80% confidence, we're not going to show you, because I don't want you to take that information and go off and make not a bad decision, but maybe a misinformed decision. Right. So those are the 3 underlying factors.
Yeah,
Um,
thanks for the insights. And I will, it looks like someone shared some insights here, Maria. Thank you.
yeah,
Thanks,
of
Ryan.
course. Yeah. Yeah, questions in the chat. Oh, awesome. Yeah, Maria, thanks for dropping. Oh, I don't know that those links will.
Hey,
Oh,
Ryan, this is Rama.
hey, what's up, Rama?
Is it only looking at the columns that you determine in your report?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yep,
So you want to have data in the report if you want it to be analyzed.
100%. Yeah. Um,
There's a question from Meg above Maria's chat. I don't know if you see that.
Yeah, so quick insights are only looking, Meg asked folks, do insights just look at the data on the table or any of the other tables in the application? So quick insights is just looking at that single table, which was something we had heard a lot from users in the early days of quick insights, or saying like, hey, I have like, in my case, I've got some probably really good information in the risks table or the milestones table that I want you to use when you're making predictions for me, right? So for the past, I don't know, 6 months or so, we've been really trying to rethink how we can deliver great statistical insights on your data using your entire application. And how can we expand on what you're getting with quick insights in a more robust sense. So here, I'm going to move over to Data Analyzer. And if there are other questions about quick insights, happy to answer them in chat, but we'll move over for a moment. I think this is the right screen. And folks, just to be super candid, the reason I'm having so much trouble sharing screens on Zoom is because I never close a window and on my computer. Just it doesn't happen. I'm incapable of doing it. So that is the price I pay. So let's move on to Data Analyzer. So Data Analyzer really picks up where Quick Insights left off. We wanted to help you not only analyze more data in your application, so actually look at the entire structure. We get to use more powerful predictive models instead of the sort of simple logistic regression model that powers Quick Insights. we can use, and if anybody's technical, I'll use like 3 technical terms. We're taking an ensemble approach to model building and can leverage lots of other types of predictive models like random forest in order to generate really strong predictions for your application. And then we also wanted to help our users take action on those predictions. So what will happen in here, I'll flip, sort of 2 slides ahead. When you define your prediction, again, very similar to Quick Insights, you just have to tell us what to look for in your data. We're going to go off and fetch the entire application. We're going to read that into our machine learning service. Then we're going to generate features. And the feature generation is a model in machine or data science and machine learning engineering, which is really just like we're generating a bunch of, you can call it like conditions. They're very similar to Quickbase filters inside of your, in this model on your data. So we're training this model based on how that data or how your data is shaped. So an example could be, the status is equal to delayed. Another example could be the notes field contains the word budget. Or it could be, and we get to use much more advanced capabilities like TF-IDF, which is, hey, we're not just looking for whether or not a note field contains budget. We're actually looking for the number of times that occurs inside of that, inside of a record. So if somebody says budget 3 times in an update, like that's a really clear indicator for us that something is affecting the outcome. After we generate the feature, all of the features, we take the best ones and we build a model. And that model will be used to generate predictive value on every record in your Quickbase app, like in your target table. So we can tell you that a particular project is 70% likely to go over budget because of all of the things we learned about your app when we were training our model on it. Then we'll go off and update or create, if it's the first time, a brand new field inside of your table that you can then use to drive reporting, dashboards, workflows, notifications, etc. So a couple of things before you get started, and we can share this out. We also have a really comprehensive help article that I can link in the Zoom chat here, and Esther, we can send out to folks who attended after the fact. But really similar to what Darren had mentioned earlier, it's just like you would take a little bit of time to think through how you would build a new app. We should take a little bit of time to think through how you want to start to build a brand new model. So first thing to do is to check if your prediction can be expressed in a really simple true-false statement. All right, that's what we're sort of keying in on now. So think a checkbox field in Quickbase. Whether our delayed field is checked, or maybe we could build it on if a status field contains the word delay. If there are more complex conditions, like you might want to see, hey, the status contains delay and the budget is over $5,000. That's the outcome you'd like to predict. Best practice there is to go off and create a formula checkbox inside of your application to build the prediction off of. The second thing here is to ensure that you have enough data to generate a good prediction. This has been available in an open beta in business and enterprise accounts for about 2 weeks. About 75% of the errors we see are because there either wasn't enough data in the application to build a reliable model. Again, I'd rather tell you nothing than give you bad information. And the other is there wasn't enough differences inside of your data for us to create the correlations that we need to inside of your app. I am going to show you now how we can build this. Again, super simple. It's going to build on top of Quick Insights. And I do have sort of a baked turkey already. So after you create a model in Quick Insights, you can open Data Analyzer. You'll see that at the bottom. And we will start to pre-fill the inputs that we need to build that prediction. So here in my projects table, I'm going to check if over budget is true. The only thing I need to add here is a title for the new prediction field that we're going to go off and build. So I think I have over budget likelihood. I can come here and click generate. And this, depending on the size of the application, the number of tables, all of the data, and just the volume of data, this could take anywhere between 15 to 30 minutes to generate. We had one person generate a model on, I think, over 100 million rows of data, and it took about 45 minutes to generate. But once it's done, we're going to send you an email letting you know that your prediction has been created, and we'll direct you to a sort of dashboard for that prediction that's going to give you some information about what we found inside of your app. I'm going to pause here. I saw there were a couple of questions in the old chat window. Oh, maybe it was just Maria. Okay. Cool. So we went off, we looked at all of the data in my application. We created a bunch of features or conditions to go test our models against. We found the best, most correlated factors, and we created a model. That model was then run on all of our records inside of our projects table and generated a prediction for each one of them. So when that model finishes, we're going to take you to basically an overview of what we learned. So in this case, we're showing you just a distribution of how likely our records are to be over budget by the number of records. So I can see, hey, as somebody who like manages or holds the purse strings here in my company, 90 projects are 60 to 70% likely to run over budget. And, this shouldn't surprise me too much because historically, we've seen about 62% of our projects run over budget. So as a user, I may want to really go off and take action on, the 33 here that are, sort of coin flip status to see what kind of mitigation strategies we can put in place early to prevent that from happening. In addition to showing you, sort of what we found inside of your data, we'll show you the accuracy of the model. The accuracy here isn't great because I built it on sample data. We've seen really accurate models be created on average. I was just actually looking at this earlier, and our average accuracy right now, I think, is over 90%. So we'll actually go off and do back testing. So we will run that model against your historical data and tell you and basically see if our prediction for this being over budget was right or wrong, and then combine all that data into an accuracy score so you can make sure that you're trusting the predictions that you're building. We'll also start to show you the fields that we found that really impact your predictions. So in our case, the project name was a pretty big one, and it makes a little bit more sense once you look at sort of the data here. All of our project names, and again, sample data, so just bear with me for a second, but we've got things like portal update, analytics upgrade, SSO integration, mobile app, cloud migration, and we've got a lot of them. I've got like 17 SSO integration projects here. The assigned to of the task has been shown to be a strong indicator that our projects are going to be delayed. Also, the manager of any of these projects, the status of underlying milestones, the departments where those project managers work, the status of any underlying tasks, and the complexity. All of those factored into the model that we used on our data. So remember, we've created a brand new field in our application. It's called over budget likelihood, and you can come here to get a quick look at that field and make any changes that you might need. And this allows you to do things like create new processes and workflows and automations around that prediction. So just to show you sort of the art of the possible here, I've created a dashboard for the prediction that I generated. So on this first report, and here, let me just widen this just slightly. On this first report, I'm showing a ranked list of, hey, what are my projects that are at the highest risk right now? So this data cleanup task was 70% or 77% likely to be over budget. This SSO integration is 76% likely to be over budget. This really helps me and my team focus on what needs to be done. I've also built a heat map down here to sort of contrast, hey, how are status, the current status of the project and the priority of the project? What's our sort of prediction spread there? So I'm seeing that, hey, we're actually doing pretty good on in-progress projects of a medium priority. Or I'm sorry, we're not doing very good on in-progress projects on medium priority. But our projects, our low priority projects that haven't been started yet, we're actually seeing our over budget likelihood be below the norm there, which is good. And then similarly, here's just a bar chart that I can build now on that prediction field, because it's just like any other field inside of your Quickbase application. When we were running this program in a closed beta, we had partnered with a handful of customers and we built predictions alongside them. Some of the things that they were predicting were how likely drivers were to get into preventable accidents, how likely a certain invoice was to have to be sent to collection, and how likely an employee was to churn in the first 60 days of employment. So just to give you a couple ideas on how we could seed or how you can sort of use this in your own workflows.
Hey, Ryan, there was a question in the chat that Harrison had about determining which users would get an email when the analysis is
So
done.
we send an email to all of the admins in the application when the prediction is run.
Harrison, I don't know if that matches up with your experience, if there had been other users outside of those admins, but
Yeah, I know of at least one user who got an email who's definitely not an admin in our realm
Okay.
or app.
Yeah, Harrison, I think we have time on Monday, right, to
We
chat?
do, yeah.
Oh,
So
awesome. Cool. Yeah, I can't wait to dig into that bug.
okay, cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, no problem.
Great. Yeah. Any other thoughts or questions, reactions?
Can you change the color on any of these?
On the charts?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are just Quickbase charts.
Oh, okay. I was like,
Yeah. I don't know. Esther, did you not like the shade of green that I picked?
oh no, I was just thinking like for customization.
Yeah.
Right.
Totally. Again, this is just a new field in your table. So you can treat it like any other Quickbase field and use it in summary reports or charts. You can use it to trigger pipelines. One of our solutions consultants internally built an application or a prediction that fired a pipeline whenever that risk rating crossed a certain threshold. He sent a task to an employee to go off and start to take action on it. And we wanted to build it in a really, really flexible way to give you folks the opportunity to do what you all do best, which is build.
Hey, Ryan.
Yeah.
Quick question. Is the data kept inside of Quickbase, or is it sent out to?
Sorry, I think we
lost.
Jeff.
we have there's two Jeffs, so
There are two.
go.
Who can I kill?
Oh, you better pick the right one, Jeff.
I know.
Yeah, pick the real Jeff, not the clone.
I can't kill either one.
Here, maybe I can mute. I've muted one of the Jeffs. Try now. I think I muted the wrong Jeff.
Yeah, can you mute?
I'll mute the other Jeff. Okay.
Okay.
Try now, Jeff.
How's that?
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
Great.
Is the data shared outside of Quickbase when you're running these models?
Fantastic question. No, it is not. So all of this data is running on inside of our VPC or our virtual private cloud. It never leaves Quickbase infrastructure. Early on, I'll be very candid, we were debating whether or not we wanted to allow models to be trained on other Quickbase data, right? So we have tens of thousands of applications that are used to manage projects, for example. One of the hypotheses were, oh, I wonder if there are best practices from all of those other applications that we can use to help create a really great project risk score for a user. After doing the research and talking to customers, it didn't make sense, right? The reason why you folks are so successful with Quickbase is because you can manage your processes in a very distinct and custom way. So, Jeff, the way that you manage projects inside of your application is going to be dramatically different than the way that Rama manages his projects in his application, right? You could even use the same template app on the exchange, but the underlying data is going to be so different that it makes no sense for us to try to sort of cross-train on different customer data, right? So all of the models that are built are trained only on the data inside of your application. We think that we're going to get better, more accurate results that way. And yeah, the data never leaves our infrastructure. It's all running inside of Quickbase.
Right. Thank
Cool.
you.
Yeah, great question.
A couple clarifying questions, Ryan. If I understood correctly, it's running the prediction. Then you have this new field and it's writing these percentages of likelihood to the field.
Yep.
One, does it lock permissions to that field or is it just an open field? And then two, I assume the answer to this is yes, but do you need to run the prediction again manually to get an updated value?
Yes, we lock down permissions. So think of it like a sync field, Rama, where you cannot change the data. This is a Quickbase managed field, right? The second thing right now, you can update predictions manually. So I can come back into Prediction Central here. I'll show you guys another way to get into Data Analyzer. In case you missed it, we also added the little 3-dot menu on app settings. So I know that was a big ask. So come to your app settings, go to Data Analyzer. From this page, you can go off and you can create a new model or a new prediction up here. And Rama, if you wanted to update a prediction, you can click this button to update it. What we will do is go off and start that whole training process again, right? So one of the things we wanted to guard against was, hey, a lot of our builders who are citizen developers, right? They're not technical in nature, don't know the best practices of like model lifecycle management, right? Where we should always be getting the freshest data every time. We don't want to run, if you imported 10,000 records into your application, since the time you created that initial model, we want to make sure that we're using all of those new insights again. So when you click update prediction, we're going to run that same process. We're going to go off, extract all the data in the application. We're going to generate the features. We're going to build the model. We're going to run that model against all the records in the application, and then we're going to import that predictive value. So you can do that manually. It is on our roadmap to allow this to happen on a more automated basis. Just haven't gotten to it yet. And I think there are a couple of questions in the Menti where, Rama, if that's important to you and more important than some of the other things that I think we need to do, like, yeah, we'll look into it for sure.
Oh, makes sense. I would say after what you just said, I'd probably up the scheduling on my list of 5 in the Menti to higher
Great.
priority. That sounds like, updating it nightly via pipeline or whatever
Yeah.
means to schedule would be very valuable to the people consuming the data.
100%. I view scheduling as a success problem for us. So I want to do everything in my power to make sure that like the 39 people on this call have all created a model that they love so much that they just want it to run automatically, right? And once that core is really, really great, then yeah, scheduling is perfect. But Rama, if you try this and you tell me it's perfect, Ryan, don't change anything. I'm like, yeah, scheduling it is. But if there's more work we need to do, I want to make sure that core experience is great before we're running it on an automated basis.
Sure. Well, frankly, I'm here more as a learning effort than an experience. I haven't tried it yet. So
okay, well, please try this.
Wanted to jump on and see how people are using it and other stuff, and then give it a shot.
Yeah, great. Yeah, other questions, thoughts?
I'm gonna do a raise of hands of anyone who has tried it. Just curious to see who's had a chance to take a look at it in the past 2 weeks. You can use the react button if you like.
Ryan, you showed the 3-dot like data analyzer being tucked into the settings. Are there other like things you'd want to call out that like aren't just like right that you think are like obvious to end users? Things that you're just like, if you have an opportunity to talk about this feature with folks, make sure they know about.
Yeah, right now it's accessible through advanced features in the app settings. Two things need to be true. So this is available on business and enterprise plans. And you need to have the AI switch in your realm enabled, right? If you've opted out of any AI features, we're not going to show you this because you've told us not to. But if this gets you over the hump and you want to turn on AI features now, like, happy for you, and I'm happy for me too.
Ryan, what's the timeline for supporting other field types to predict beyond checkboxes and text fields?
Can I answer your question with a question, Harrison?
Sure.
No, it's a terrible thing to do. What field types do you want to predict on?
Multiple choice and potentially numeric.
I think we should support multiple choice. If we don't, there might be a bug in our like field type detection. So I'll look into that. For numeric, what are you looking to predict? Like,
basically the overall bill, basically like in terms of how much money is spent on a particular project.
okay, fantastic. So actually, I'm going to go back just one step. So and I'll try to simplify this. I'm really not good at simplifying technical concepts, though. Ben knows this about me. We're using an event detection algorithm now, and event detection models to generate these predictions, right? And that'll show you, like, it essentially predicts how likely an event is to occur. There are other models that I have on my roadmap that I think will be very applicable to other use cases. So in your case, where you're like, hey, I want to predict the value, like I want to predict how much this bill is going to be based on my historical data. That's what we call forecasting, right? You could forecast the value of an opportunity, how much this invoice is, how many days it's going to take us to do this type of work based on historical data. Absolutely on our roadmap, just not possible now. And then when you had said, I'm going to ask one more question. Sorry if this is pushy. And again, we've got time on Monday, so I'll probably ask you a whole bunch more questions then.
Okay.
When you say you want to predict a multiple choice value, you want to predict the state that like a record will land in? Or you want to generate a prediction saying like, hey, I want to predict how likely a project is to be delayed, and delayed is a multiple choice or choice in a multiple choice field or status field.
Yeah, essentially something like that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Super cool use case. We've got some ideas, but we're going to need some help from customers to validate them. So yeah, I look on that.
Gotcha. Sounds good. Thanks.
Yeah. Other questions? Has anybody here used the legacy sort of data analyzer plugin from the Exchange, the template app? Ram, I think you might have. Anyone else?
I did, but it's been a
Probably
while.
tried it and then like, man, this is way too hard to use and I'm going to give up. Which
Can't speak to it very well. I didn't use it much.
Yep. Cool. Yeah, so anybody who has used the data analyzer template app, I would encourage you to try this out. I think that we've wanted to solve a lot of the same problems, but just in a more integrated way than our initial sort of plugin application. Cool. Oh, yeah. Any other questions?
Just a comment, Ryan, this
Yeah.
is super cool. So even
Yeah.
like 3-4 months ago, we were looking at your tools to analyze facility utility data for cost, to try to determine its medical facilities, where we could cut costs in the utilities, and
Yep.
the tools weren't really there. What I'm seeing here today is essentially a simple version of what we're looking for. I'm sure it'll be less simple over time and build on it. So this is great.
I hope that it's as simple. I just hope that it can do more things. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Rama, give it a shot and let me know if you run into any issues. Like you know where to find me.
Sounds good. I'm excited to try it out.
Yeah.
I'd also just call out too, there's a lot of really good content in Quickbase University for folks that are still like dipping their toes into this. There's they've put together some one-pagers as well as like quick insights, data readiness, things that you can take with you as you start to dig into this. So be sure to check out, Quickbase University and all the content that's in there on data analyzer and quick insights.
Awesome. Yeah. Did everybody see the Menti that Esther threw in the chat?
I just threw it back
Oh,
in there
awesome.
again. So yeah, if everyone can go ahead and join that. Ben, I was just in there and for some reason I only see 2 results. I don't know if that's the updated one. So I'm curious if you would be able to show it on your end if you see anything different.
Can share my screen. This is what I see.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Oh, amazing.
All right, here. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started here. If you can predict one thing in your business, what would it be? Oh, wow. Yeah, you definitely have more results than I did. So I'm glad you're sharing your screen. Projects completing by the original substantial dates, likelihood of a client repeating work. Oh, these are interesting use cases. Which yeah, that's Rama's, I could tell. So,
Yeah, I like the one on the internal project team, like figuring out like which teams are the most effective team, most likely to get repeat business. That's smart.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Yeah, well, I'd be curious if you could do these with the these. That would
Yeah,
be
so
amazing.
the repeated work, we have some ideas, Rama, of around like building cohorts of records, right? So can we do some like pattern recognition across across like your data set to see what's influencing the outcome, right? And how likely it is. So like, hey, these 5 this project team is a rockstar team and like they get repeat business like 100% of the time, right? Completing projects by the original and completion dates should absolutely be in scope for us. So very very curious to see what we build for you there. Yeah.
You're going to the next one?
Yeah, that'd be great. Perfect. This matches my roadmap. So great job. Great job. Yeah, I definitely want to, we call them like statistical insights internally. So in addition to the fields we use to create the model, can we show you more detail around, what is it about those records and the data underneath that is causing the prediction value to go up or go down? Yep. Yep, more field types for like forecasting. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Being able to predict whether a project's budget is not just over budget, right? But maybe over budget by more than $5,000, right? Like is another Expanding the types of fields you can use to create predictions is another one that's on our radar for sure.
Yeah. Be sure to for those who haven't yet filled this out, be sure we'll be looking at this after as well. So if you haven't had a chance to answer, you can still do that. Even if the meeting's over, you'll still be able to get into the Menti and answer.
Yeah, I'll share it in the recap too.
Haven't had anyone answer this one yet. Folks can come off mute if they want to even just share on the call. Based on what you've learned so far, what's one thing you like about Quick Insights and Data Analyzer? Hopefully the nothing here is not an insult to you, Ryan.
Yeah, I'm like very hard to offend. You got a thick skin to be in this business, man.
I mean, I think that it's a very new feature that's not been available at Quickbase at all, and it's pretty amazing to have some sort of predictive analytics to the data that's already so powerful in our applications.
Yeah, and we know like this is very much in its infancy. I think over the last, couple of weeks, we've had maybe 40 models created. So if you haven't had a chance to use it yet, hopefully this gives you a kick to go off and explore and start seeing what it can do.
For me, I would say too, like what you called out earlier, Ryan, of the customer example of, something it's predicted, and then when it reaches a certain threshold, it kicks off a pipeline. So it's really about the rest of what Quickbase offers, and then this being kind of a egg binder, like for it. So like that to me seems to really open up some potential here for just living in an AI centric world that we're in now, and our customers being able to leverage something that will already take automated workflows and just add more into it.
Yep, 100%.
On the field that's locked, like a Quickbase managed field, can you still fire off like notifications and pipeline and any other triggered stuff from it?
Yep. 100%. Just be aware that we do that import in bulk, Rama. So make sure if you're building a pipeline on the back end, make sure you're using like the bulk upsert or the bulk record trigger.
Sure. Yeah. Everything has to be done in a bulk trigger. That would make sense.
All right. Should we move on?
Yeah, be great.
I think my answer is the cliche one, is capacity, time.
I know.
Same problem everyone has.
Yeah, there are days where I feel very, very greedy, where I'm like, why haven't my builders created enough predictions yet? And you guys got a lot going on. I used to be a Quickbase builder before I worked in product, and I totally get it. Time is it's not something that there's an abundance of, given what you all have to do in a given day.
I mean, I would think about it like, I'm not, I could see it being from the lens of like, I'm not sure what to use Quick Insights or Data Analyzer on. I'm not sure what to use them on, and I'm not sure what to do with it if I start using it. And I don't know if like organizations yet, or maybe they're like asking themselves these questions. Like, I don't know if not everyone is sort of at that point in evolution of like knowing the answers to those questions.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we have sort of the automatic generation of predictions on our roadmap. So we know you folks are super busy, right? And sometimes it's hard to understand at a glance like what a new capability in Quickbase can offer you. So we know a lot about your applications. We know how they're structured. We can understand what will make a good prediction and what may make a not so great prediction. So can we go off, generate them for you and show them, right? Without you having to go through that whole setup process. Can we do it automatically for you? Seeing is believing in a lot of the cases.
I'll be honest with you, I'm not sure how this question type works. I think you have to scroll and pick on a thing. I just picked it because I was like, that's probably the best one. Um, But yeah, we just want to know like what kind of resources, other than the links that we shared and then QBU, if there's anything else that we can do to help support you as you start using Quick Insights and Data Analyzer. So if there's things that you haven't seen, we can point them to you, or if there's other use cases you're curious about, or if you need help with figuring out what things that you'd like to predict in your organization. That's good. Oh, okay, cool. So it is working. We just had some sort of thing.
Help us
So,
help, I think is what this question is grabbing at.
okay.
How many more do you have, Esther? Because we are running up against the hour.
This is the last question.
Okay.
Yeah, and so this question really is all about like, hey, how do you currently share your data? What are you doing with stuff right now? And what can we do to take what we've learned with Quick Insights Data Analyzer and help share that broad as well? So, so we just wanted to know what your current way of sharing your reports out or sharing the data you have. So dashboards. So if there's any others, feel free. And again, this is in the survey format, so I will be sharing it out with a recap. Hopefully we'll get more results that we can use for the product team and the education team as well. So, so if you need more time to mull over this to help answer questions, you can do that. But we are at time, and I want to thank Ryan for sharing the information today for Quick Insights and Data Analyzer, answering tons of questions. Appreciate everyone who participated and stayed for the call. We'll send a recap and then we'll be back next Tuesday. Ryan, you'll be back for that session as well, right? I believe.
Yeah, I think that one actually might be run by Yorgi.
Oh, okay, great. Yeah, we will connect with Yorgi. Yes, that'll be the AI spreadsheet and import tool.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll get that going. So I want to thank everyone, and we will end today and see you again next week. Take
Bye,
care.
everybody. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, everyone.